KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvos Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Tano Program. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime limited powertrain warranty. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Beginning now on Prime Time, a 60-year-old who died on Sunday marks the island's 60th COVID-19 related fatality since mid-March. Also, the weekend saw a surge in COVID-related hospitalizations, and your elected lawmakers head into October session this morning.
Hafade and good evening, everyone. A 60-year-old man died early Sunday morning around 4 a.m., marking the island's 60th COVID-19 related fatality. The man had underlying health conditions and was admitted to GMH on October 3rd and tested positive upon admission. Governor Leon Guerrero offered condolences and said, quote, "Making these announcements is very difficult, and each death brings sadness to our people. Let's continue with our fight against this virus, keep our guards up, wear our masks, social distance, and avoid social gatherings." And now to the latest numbers from the Joint Information Center reported on Sunday. 22 tested positive for COVID-19 out of 155 samples tested Saturday at the Public Health Lab. This brings to 3,008 with 947 cases in active isolation. GMH has reached an all-time high in COVID hospitalizations. Just over the weekend, 15 more people were admitted. Peter Santos has more.
That's the highest we've had in our census.
Hospital Administrator Lillian Posada speaking on the surge of COVID patients admitted to the Guam Memorial Hospital over the weekend. According to Posadas, there are now 62 COVID patients hospitalized, 10 of whom are receiving an ICU level of care, and 3 of those patients are on ventilators. Additionally, out of the 62 people hospitalized, 8 were moved to the COVID isolation facility in Barragata Heights. GMH also saw 2 newborns admitted.
1-month-old came in over the weekend. Actually, there were 2 of them, 2 newborn.
Posada says the fever was the main symptom, with the newborns prompting parents to seek medical attention. The latest wave of COVID hospitalizations brings up the concern of staffing at GMH, and Posada says that the nurses brought in to help have done just that.
Absolutely. They're, because we have like about 39 nurses from the Staffing Solutions, and then from the other agency that provides us, also with the staff from off island. So there's like about 12 or 14 of them. So, the additional staff that we have who has specialized nursing practice and nursing experience, big help, especially with our numbers up.
With the off-island nurses brought in for 12 to 13-week deployments, Posada says she's already in the process of asking for more help as exhaustion and fatigue sets in on her staff of nurses.
Yes, we have been in discussion with both Staffing Solution agencies that we're going to need to have more, nurses come and help us out, so that way we can make sure that our staff have some time off, or because they're exhausted.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
The governor's COVID-19 bereavement program is still undergoing legal review. It calls for a one-time $10,000 payment to the families of those who died from the virus. Public Health's Mass Casualty Chief Alex Silverio is scheduled to meet today with the Department of Administration for an update.
This payment is to help these families cope and address the financial situation and gaps that the COVID-19 death has presented to them.
For example, he says some families wish to repatriate their loved ones back to their home island or country and don't have the resources to cover for the unexpected deaths. For now, the administration department is holding on to the checks pending clarification of some legal questions, such as who is the next of kin in a common law relationship. Silverio says they are also tracking certain data on the COVID-19 fatalities, which can help in containing the spread. The latest indicates there have been 12 Chamorros, 11 Filipinos, and 12 Chuukese.
It means quite a lot, right? It does mean that, for example, with our brothers and sisters from the FSM, they represent a small percentage of this island, but they are disproportionately highly represented in our deaths.
Public health can then address the disproportionate fatality rate by raising awareness within that specific community.
Sometimes there's a cultural divide, a language divide, our attitudes towards them and their attitudes towards us, right? All of these things have to be bridged, not just with COVID-19, but with every health and wellness consideration on this island.
As of Monday afternoon, there were 60 confirmed deaths directly related to COVID-19. Kmart has shut itself down for 24 hours. A sign on its Tamuning store says it will be closed from 11 a.m. Monday to 11 a.m. Tuesday. Last week, we received multiple anonymous tips about employee infections, and the store also closed for a couple of hours very early Saturday morning for deep cleaning. Public health case investigation lead Patrick Soto says he can't discuss specific business infections.
Come across COVID-19 patients who, they indicate where they work. We do reach out to their employers. We kind of guide them through next steps, right? What to do. So again, we'll identify those coworkers who work closely with the COVID-19 patient. We'll try to get them reached out to, try to get them tested, and try to get them quarantined as much as possible to reduce or mitigate the exposure or transmission of COVID-19.
He says if 5 or more employees test positive within the span of 1 week, public health will step in and conduct an assessment of the business.
Whether that establishment decides to close down, sanitize, that's entirely up to them. Me personally, I don't have the authority to shut them down. But it really just depends on the type of infection control practices that they implement.
We have been unable to reach local Kmart management for comment. Meanwhile, McDonald's in Agana was also closed. The company announced that it was notified that some employees tested positive and closed the restaurant for deep cleaning and sanitization. In a statement, franchisee representative Joe Azuzu Jr. says they have been working with public health to conduct wellness checks before each shift to limit the exposure risks to employees and customers. They also conduct regular sanitization of high-touch surfaces within the restaurant. 2 more Port Authority employees have tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the total now to 12. The 11th infection was identified as a close contact of the 10th employee. The 12th positive case was an employee who began experiencing symptoms at home on Friday and received test results today. The port's contact tracing team has identified 11 port employees who may have been exposed as late as Wednesday of last week. According to the port, they have identified a total of 349 cases of close contacts with the 12 who were infected. The port says it continues anti-COVID measures, including daily deep cleaning and sanitizing of the port facilities. An audit released today of the 75th Liberation Day Island Fair and Carnival found some discrepancies. The Office of Public Accountability questioned some $300,000 in expenses. The OPA says the Mayor's Council, which has primary oversight, failed to provide procurement records totaling $234,000 and was inconsistent in its procurement methods for some $66,000 in goods and services. Mayor's Council President Mayor Melissa Savares of Dededo says they provided the OPA with all the documents they had.
Are the carekeepers of all the books and all the invoices, the receipts, the RFPs. We have those all in binders. I think that every time there's a payment request, there's a form to fill out. Mayor Hoffman and then our treasurer, Mayor Alec, for the Queens Committee and the Raffle Committee actually have records of all that. So if anybody wants to look at it, we provided all that we could we had to the OPA.
But the audit findings show that several procurement records were missing. According to the report, the MCOG admitted that they lacked the capability and resources to effectively perform their mandate due to other primary responsibilities, and they conveyed their desire to no longer be the fair's oversight entity. There's a lack of communication between the front office and the public schools. That's what one angry parent says is to blame for hard copy packet assignments not being graded. And she says students' education are on the line. KUAM's Adriana Cotero reports.
Since they started a hard copy, art, 15 assignments, only 1 was graded. Come on.
One parent is speaking up for her child and all public school students facing the same struggle. As she explains, the Guam Department of Education is lacking in grading hard copy packet assignments.
I told his teachers I'm not submitting any more assignments. I will be picking it up until you guys all have every assignment accounted for. But you expect kids to touch that folder, and what, for your safety? You're not going to touch it for 3 to 4 or 5 days? Practice what you preach.
With GDOE students heading into the second quarter, this is now affecting their report cards. The parent says teachers do not touch students' folders until at least 4 days after it's turned in.
No memo that was ever sent out. So here, as a parent, I'm picking up this folder, so you expect me to give it straight to my child? No. So I implemented their same protocol. My kids are not going to touch their folders until 3 to 4 days after I pick it up for their safety.
Frustrated and concerned for her child's education, she is calling on the superintendent to fix this issue.
But John Fernandez, seriously, sir, you need to be on top of this.
And she has this message to share.
So my message to the superintendent, are you seeking and begging for a lawsuit? Because I am one parent that will not tolerate this.
The parent adds that she is already in close communication with an attorney regarding the matter. KUAM reached out to GDOE for a comment. Spokeswoman Isabaza provided this response. Quote, "We listened to this parent's concerns and acknowledge that the hard copy instructional model has challenges, many of which this parent noted. Our approach is for all schools to be as accommodating as possible, and we continue to ask parents to discuss these matters with their child's school so we can improve our process and communication. In light of these challenges, we hope more students will opt to go online as we distribute laptops and work on addressing internet access," unquote. This morning on The Link, a GDOE teacher chimed in on the parents' concern.
But I think at the core of this whole thing is just again, like the parent said, communication, and then maybe just a little bit more not so much leniency, but for inaction, but maybe some understanding, some level of understanding. Because man, I'll tell you, man, 200 students, and you might miss one or two. As unfortunate as it is to say, we're humans, too, as teachers, and we make mistakes. So definitely, I just want to say I can level, with the frustration.
Across the board, from the main office to teachers, parents, and students, all agree there are challenges with the hard copy learning model.
We're all going through this together. But don't try and beat a child down and belittle a child, and especially parents who are doing everything they can.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
More news right after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Social distancing may be the new norm, but connection will always be our tradition. Through good times and tough times, we remain connected with you. Masks may be the new fashion, but protection will always be our style. You can always count on us to protect the things that matter the most. Sanitizing may be the new routine, but caring will always be our practice. We care about your loved ones and the things you value the most. And as we welcome our new normal, one thing remains certain: we will always be here for you. We're open and ready to serve you. Calvos Insurance, a legacy of trust.
"100% truck, 100% Jeep brand. The all-new Jeep Gladiator is the most capable off-road mid-size pickup truck crafted for adventure. Equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in a brand new Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $283 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to get pre-approved today.
We are in the middle of the most serious health crisis of our lives, and it affects everything from jobs to schools to the way we live. In addition to worrying about recovery, we must now worry about healthcare. And we shouldn't have to make choices between food and medicine, going to the doctor, or buying gas. We all need access to healthcare, and now more than ever, we need hospitals and clinics which can respond to pandemics. We must get the vaccines and new treatments for COVID-19. We must be ready with ventilators and partnerships with the federal government for our emergency facilities and have pandemic plans which provide a secure safety net. We must be ready for the next crisis. And this takes a leader in Washington who is trustworthy and will work with local leaders and experts. This is why I am running for Congress. I humbly ask you for your vote. Si Diyos maasi, maraming salamat po. I'm Robert Underwood, and I approve this message.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. The Guam Waterworks Authority has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Wisconsin-based company Badger Meter for allegedly supplying defective meters. The complaint was first filed in the Superior Court in August, but has since been moved to the District Court, according to documents filed today. In March 2012, GWA signed a contract with Badger to replace 39,000 residential meters and to provide related professional services. Over the years, GWA has experienced a number of problems with defective meters. It's suing for breach of contract, violation of the Deceptive Trade Practices Act, and unjust enrichment. GWA alleges it has suffered damages of more than $3.9 million for meter replacement, $2.4 million in labor costs, and $12 million in lost income. It's seeking compensatory and punitive damages, as well as attorney's fees and costs. The Department of Corrections has restarted its incoming program, which allows families to drop off items such as personal hygiene products to inmates and detainees. Major Anton Uggan says it restarted in Hagåtña last week, but began at the Mangilaw compound today. Only limited items are being allowed to be dropped off, and according to Uggan, are being thoroughly inspected and sanitized. The Mangilaw compound and Hagåtña detention facility are both COVID-free. Since the start of the government's COVID response, the Guam National Guard has been on the front line, and as Tyler Matanani reports, they continue to stand guard.
Approximately 250 soldiers and airmen of the Guard have been activated and have been to COVID response as part of Joint Task Force, or JTF 671. National Guard spokesperson Mark Scott.
There's a handful of other sub-task forces, and they're all doing different things around the island. Some of those that people know probably the most about is the quarantine facilities. That's at the Dusit Beach Resort and the Dusit Tani. We're also out there with Task Force Response, which is helping the Northern Clinic do their public testing for COVID-19.
In addition, the Guard is also helping with commodity distribution and providing transport of COVID-positive patients to the government's isolation facility at the Bayview Hotel.
We also have 8 medics at Guam Memorial Hospital helping out with some acute care and triage and taking vitals and stuff like that.
The Guard continues to assist GovGuam agencies with their latest tasks, such as assisting public health move contact tracers to the Hakabatan building into Muning. They also just recently assisted the Guam Regional Medical City with erecting tents for testing and evaluations for suspected COVID cases. Their mission comes with great risk. Scott confirms just recently 3 Joint Task Force members tested positive for COVID-19.
They do work together and they've all been home isolated. Now, when the contact tracing was conducted, because they are following all those safety protocols, the amount of other people that they could have contacted was only 1. I think that they were assigned to the Dusit Tani.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
Friday is the last day of face-to-face appointments for the Labor Department's PUA program at the Agate Library. GDOE says residents will still be serviced at the Deredo and Jonia libraries Monday through Friday by appointment. Call 311 option 6 to schedule. A bill introduced way back on the first day of the current 35th Guam legislature finally made it to the session floor today. The measure, introduced by Senator Luis Muña, would authorize GDOE to administer vaccines in schools, although it doesn't mandate that students be vaccinated.
That maybe our colleagues can see that really this bill was simply just to give the legal statutory authority to prevent them from any lawsuits from any anti-vaxxers or anybody who has a problem with their students getting vaccinated in DOE rather than in a clinic. That's really all this bill was for.
So the bill is not going to increase vaccination in our schools because we've got compliance. What it's going to do is allow providers to come in, such as the Guam Cancer Care, this was stated in the committee report, to come in and provide vaccinations that are not right now mandated by public health. So there's a big difference.
Senator Therese Terlahi was also concerned about the timing of the bill, which was introduced before the pandemic. After about an hour of debate, the measure was moved to the voting file. Session continues tomorrow. And now time for our weekly Fanatic Zoom Zone segment, where Dave Delgado catches up with local NFL fans and talks about their love of the game and predictions for the season.
Dave Delgado here for Fanatic Zoom Zone. With me today, Robert Balahaja, who's a Los Angeles Chargers fan. Tell us when the love for the Bolts first started.
The love for the Bolts started in 2004. I became a big fan after following one player in particular. LaDainian Tomlinson was I was captivated by him, and I think from then on, I just always watched him play, always rooted for the Chargers since 2004.
Any game day traditions?
I keep it simple. Just throw on Chargers hoodie, Chargers hat, Chargers blanket, Chargers pajama pants, whatever I can find to watch the game comfortably.
And which team do you look forward to facing every season?
I look forward to facing the Broncos every season because I absolutely despise every team in the AFC West. I don't like any one of them, but I would say the Broncos I like the least out of all the three of my division rivals.
Top two all-time favorite players?
It's got to be right at the top for the two of the best probably to ever do it in our franchise history. LaDainian Tomlinson, obviously, because he's the reason why I became a fan, and the best tight end to ever do it, Antonio Gates. I've got a good opportunity to watch both of them play for the majority of my Chargers fandom, and it's been great.
Coming up next, a look at the weather for the week. You're watching KUAM.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Hafade, I'm Tony Atta. I'm running to be your senator in the 36th Guam legislature. Together, we will build a Guam with a more resilient and diverse economy. Together, we will make our neighborhoods safer for our families. Together, we will streamline government spending by passing a realistic, responsible budget. I'm Tony Atta, and I humbly ask for your vote. I'm number 7 on the Republican side of the ballot, and together we will. I'm Tony Atta, and I approve this message.
You could upgrade to the sparkly sprinkle pack on Cupcake Conquest. Or you could upgrade to all this. 2 crunchy tacos and a medium drink. Plus, the beefy cheesy layers of the Grande Stacker Box. Only at Taco Bell.
Hafade Guam, this is Telo Tairiwi. Fighting for you has been my honor, regardless of the politics and the challenges we faced. I've worked hard every day to improve GMH facilities, fund security cameras for public safety, support road repairs, and call out legislation and decisions that break the people's trust in government. The fight for these priorities isn't over. It's just begun. I'm Telo Tairiwi. I approve this message and humbly ask for your vote. Situs Masing, maraming salamat po. Thank you, Guam.
We have just one voice representing us in Congress, one person to advocate for all of our needs and tell Guam's story to the nation. That's why I'm running to be Guam's next delegate to Congress, to serve as the kind of representative you deserve. But what does a vote for me guarantee? It's a vote for someone who can tell the Guam story, our sacrifices, our struggles, and our triumphs, and why we matter to America. It's a vote for competency in securing more resources from the federal government, not as a handout, but because we are vital to the country. It's a vote for trustworthiness. Integrity and trust are not optional when representing you. They are required. I thank you for allowing me to serve Guam before, and I humbly ask you for your vote again. I'm Robert Underwood, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. Where's all this rain coming from? Here's Landon Aidlet from the National Weather Service.
Looks like we have a small shower going right over Dededo NCS area going in towards Jigo. The bulk of the showers is now well to our west. We do expect better conditions today and Tuesday as this ridge passes over the Mariana Islands. And this is that ridge right here. It's coming down, it's moving this way. However, we do expect potential for afternoon scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms over Guam today. And because within this ridge, we have very light winds. So when these winds start coming up over the island from the south, and then eventually the south-southwest, convection will start popping up over the island, and it can dump locally heavy showers and thunderstorms. And again, that's what we call the island effect showers and thunderstorms, and that's what we're looking at for the potential for today and tomorrow afternoon. And if you're out hiking, keep an eye to the sky, because that's the problem for people hiking near rivers, creeks, and streams, because these locally heavy showers can dump a lot of rainfall in a small area, and it can wash through the creek and the rivers pretty rapidly. So don't be caught off guard by that. On the bigger picture, I'm gonna turn off these winds right quick so you see the better satellite picture. Not much action across the area, just clusters of showers and thunderstorms across Micronesia. Nothing organized. We are watching a broad disturbance down here near Palau. That's a disturbance we are watching with Joint Typhoon Warning Center, but it's not been upgraded to any kind of a numerical value at this time. Farther west near the Philippines, we're watching 93W invest area, and that's a tropical cyclone formation alert, and that is moving away from the Philippines and thus away from us, and no threat for us. For the broader tropical picture, Tropical Storm Chanhome still spinning up there off of Japan. It's like a cold that doesn't go away. Most of the showers and thunderstorms has been ejected off towards the northeast, but the broader low-level circulation is still spinning out there, and it's going to be doing a small loop over the next couple days. But it looks like while the track aims towards the Mariana Islands, is it a threat to us? It is not at this time. We're going to see this thing kind of stalled out right here well to our north, and then eventually be picked up by a frontal system coming off of Japan Tuesday, Wednesday, and move that on into the North Pacific. So that is no threat to us. Otherwise, Tropical Storm Linfa will be making landfall into the Vietnamese area if it's not already making landfall now. Really not bad out there. I know you were talking about the fire weather program, Bree, before you came to me. My brother is running that program here out of our office, so he's working with the forestry folks, so don't ask me any questions about the fire weather program. But I know my brother is doing a lot of great work updating our program, also how we communicate and issue out fire weather watches and warnings.
Are there any advisories currently in effect?
Yeah, that is correct. We are under a high surf advisory right now. We saw a lot of larger swell, long period large swell come in from the northeast, and I'm glad you mentioned that. We're going to come take a look at that. That is from a frontal system that was well north of us, and this is where we're looking at the Tanapag buoy. So this is the directional spectrum right here, showing where the waves are coming from. So we have a small swell coming from the northwest, but the larger peak swell, where all that energy is, that's coming from the northeast. So we do have a high surf advisory.
Coming up, your birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. We'll be right back.
good.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday to Kiana Renee Cruz from Nisha, Chaz, Diana, Daniel, Frankie, Jacob, and your folks. Paulina San Augustine celebrates birthday number 80, and happy birthday blessings to Mom, Grandma, and Great-Grandma. Everyone that knows you says they love you. Happy birthday number 15 to Brendan Cedric Santos Celona. Your journey is about to begin, and I will always be here for you, no matter what. I love you so much, says a very proud and adoring mom. Medgar Cruz, happy birthday number 8 from Sissy, Jack, and Noah Jude. They say they love you, and please stay safe. And Jennifer Ann Cruz blows out the candles today, so happy birthday, Jennifer Ann, from John Roy and his loving family. Also, happy birthday to KUM's own Colin Campbell, one of the guys up front that makes it happen. Happy birthday, Colin. And happy belated birthday wishes because born on October the 7th. Happy birthday to Angel Pangolin, who celebrates birthday number 81. To Tata, we wish you viva cumpleaños, love your family. Sherwin Jasmine, born on October the 10th, otherwise known as Vega. Happy birthday to Papa Smurf. We wish you nothing but love, happiness, and more birthdays for us to spend with you. We love you always. Say your precious babies and family. Happy birthday also to Raymond Ujoa, a couple days belated, was born on the 10th. Happy birthday. May the Lord bless you always, coming from your daughter and the entire Ujoa family. And Keith Torres, who was born on October the 11th, celebrates birthday number 38. Wishing you a blessed and safe birthday. Many more to come. Love your better half, Carol, Kevin, Kaiten, Mom, Dad, and your family and friends. Happy birthday, each and every one of you.
Lots of birthdays. And remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. That's our report for tonight. Thanks for watching. Please stay safe, everyone.